but whereas interfaces are also containing the properties and methods, but that should not contain any implementation. Okay, but when we are defining the classes with the help of class keyword, we are specifying the class. Okay, class keyword which is belongs to TypeScript keyword. Okay, here with respect to interface also, interface we are using as a keyword. Okay, to define the keyword. So see, in the practical manner I will tell you. So what exactly the interface? Interface we are defining with the help of interface keyword. Interface and interface name we are specifying. Okay, interface name. After that, same as usual, this is also like class only. Okay, this is also like a class only. So how the class is containing? Suppose class. Okay, class, the class name, like here the name of the class. Here you will be having implementation. So okay, any inside logic we have, right? So like this only with the help of class, here with the help of interfaces. But so when it comes to the interface, whatever the name you want to take, okay, whatever the name you want to take, suppose I'm taking so student interface, or else I can take yes interface. Okay, yes interface, I'm giving one particular name. So whereas inside that interface, this is also treated like a class only. Inside that interface, we have only unimplemented methods and undefined properties. Suppose student interface I'm taking, yes name I am taking, yes name with some data type string. Okay, I am not defining, I am not implementing. If I am trying to define, okay, string only, right? See, if you can observe, it's throwing some error. Okay, so implementation of the properties also not allowed in the interface. Okay, like chalo. So now I am taking yes is. Okay, yes, yes. So the yes is of type number I am specifying. Here also only declaration is possible. Now I am taking get data, get the student data, stu data. I am taking one method. See what exactly usually we do with the method? Just we are implementing the method. So whatever the logs, whatever the return statement we have to write. But when it comes to the interface doesn't have any implementation of that method, doesn't contain any implementation for that method. That means it should be only declaration. Okay, we know that declaration, right? So variable declaration, how we are going to declare? Yes name colon string data type is equal to, so this is what till this part we can say it is a declaration. Okay, so variable declaration, like suppose whatever the var we are using, whatever it is, yes in the TypeScript, yes name colon string. So this is called what? Declaration. If you want to assign that, string is equal to some string format of data I'm taking, sorry, yes name, right? This one variable name I'm taking yes name. Yes name is like this I'm saying. So this is the declaration, this is an initialization. That also we can call it as definition. Okay, or else we can call it as initialization of that particular variable. Even in the methods also, what we usually have in the methods, method name. Suppose get data is the method followed by parentheses and implementation. Like this, if you want, if you have, you can have parameters as well. Okay, now inside that we have the logic, actual logic. Okay, so if you write till this part, okay, if you write till this part only, so like this we can call it as declaration of method. Okay, if any method doesn't contain any body, so then only the method name and parameters, that is method prototype, that is method signature, if it is having, then that we can call it as a declaration of method. So when it comes to the implementation, so now the same method I'm taking. Okay, so if I provide that implementation, that is like a body, so then we can call it as a definition. If you write any logic, any body, so we can call it as method definition. So whatever, I might be writing some misspellings also. Okay, definition or definition, whatever it is. Okay, definition. Okay, sorry, definition. Okay, initialization, like that. we can also call initialization also init. Okay, initialization of the method. Keep that in your mind. If you write a body, that will be defining a method. If you are not writing any body, only method signature is there, that we can treat it as a declaration of method. So that's what we are applying here. Okay, so in the normal class we can declare, we can define the properties, but in the interfaces we can't declare and we can't. Even if you want the parameters, you can provide. Okay, suppose you want to put some parameters, like suppose s name SCS I have given, so location comma, and one more property I'm going to give id, SID, S location. Any number of parameters you can provide. Okay, so now coming to the interfaces. Okay, the interfaces act as a student data. Interfaces act as a mediator between whom and whom. Okay, so now when we have written any interfaces, that interface set should implement with the class. Okay, interfaces should implement. Actually, if we are extending the classes, no, class extends and class B, whatever the class B. So here class A extending, or else class B extends class A. Okay, like this you are writing. If it is a class extension, that means one class is extending another class, that means A class properties are acquiring to the B class. Now in the interfaces we are using one keyword called implements. What we are going to implement? Actually, whatever the class we are going to implement, class some student class I am taking. Yes, class, that is a name. Don't confused with the name. Yes, class, student class. Yes, interface, like that. For that namesake I'm taking, it is a user defined one only, not a predefined one. Implements, from where we are implementing? So this we have to implement. Okay, when we try to do that one, you can observe one method here, one error here. Okay, S class is incorrectly implemented interfaces. Type S class is missing the following properties from the type. That means there are some properties and methods that should be implemented in the implemented class. Okay, so here S class is a class, S interface is an interface. Now what I am doing, from the interface, whatever the properties and methods, just implementing and putting in the some class. It is a class. Again, from here to here, any class, whatever the classes we have till now we have seen, no, so those class properties will be valid. For that, what I am going to do now, I am going to implement that. Implementing is nothing but whatever the values I have taken with respect to the type, also same thing I have to give. Okay, student name, so Ramana I am taking. Okay, now one more properties, that is student age I am taking. Here student age I am taking 26, like this I am taking. Not only properties, we have to implement the method also, but that method also must be implement with the same signature, same number of arguments, same signature. If it is having public, no, public, you have to specify that for this public. Okay, like this you have to specify. Okay, so if it is private, okay, that you have to specify for the private. So like that we have to provide each and every access modifiers, each and every data type, each and every properties is the same. Okay, when you are implementing also, you might be changing the order, I mean you might be changing the names. Okay, names you might be changing, but there should be method signature should be same. That is, if you are providing, so these parameters, that you have to provide parameter here. Okay, okay, now I have to provide two parameters. Okay, the two parameters, whatever the names you want to put, you can put that names. Here you have to implement that, whatever the data you want to implement, you can implement the data. Okay, so now I am writing just yes name. Yes name is like this dot s name, so we know that one. Why we are taking the this yes name? Yes, I'm taking. Okay, if you want to provide this one also, and as of now I am ignoring the parameters, not required those parameters, just I'm ignoring. Here also, if you are ignoring the parameters, if you are not providing the parameters, that you have to ignore. In the same manner you have to implement. Okay, so this is how we have to use the implementation. Then we are unable to create an object for an interface. Okay, so now if you try to create an object for an interface, like where interface is equal to new yes interface, if you are trying to interface, it won't be created. Okay, so because interfaces doesn't have any physical memory allocation and which doesn't have capability of creating an object. Okay, now for this, what I'm going to create? Student object. Yes is equal to new class, whatever the class I'm using. Yes class, right? Yes class I'm using. For this I'm creating the. Okay, when I create an object for this S class, it will directly comes to the constructor of this S class. Again, it is implemented from the S interface. That is interface we have, whatever the properties, whatever the methods which are there in the interface of that S interface, that will be extended, that will be implemented, that will be defined here in the interfaces. Okay, that will be implemented in the interfaces. Like this you can create. Now if you want to call with the help of S dot, if you want to call a property, so then you can put that property. So if you want to call that method, so that get student data, you can call that method. Okay, same thing, the execution is same, nothing will be changed here. Execution whatever you want, CLS. Okay, now TSC interfaces dot TS. Interface or interfaces we have given. See, okay, interfaces only we have given. Interfaces interfaces.ts. Okay, I have given mistake here, interfaces not interfaces, are missing, no? So that's why I'm getting an error. Right, it's compiled successfully. And node I, okay, one more inheritance related file also there, that will automatically taking interfaces dot JS file is created, that I'm printing Ramana 26, it's calling. Okay, okay, fine. But what is the use of this one? What is the use of this one? So this is like an interface which will enhance the security of an application. Security of an application. So that means what it doing actually, whenever a real-time application will comes to us, actually the interfaces will giving the same name. Okay, if you don't know this method, okay, if you don't know this method, no, if you don't know that class, actually, if you don't have any implementation, if you don't know that class implementation, if you don't know the implemented methods, then so you can get to know only S name is of type string we have, SES is of type number we have. So get student data, so one data we have, so that method we have. Okay, but not what exactly implemented. You will not be getting this implementation of this method, you will not be getting this implementation. So what exactly the logic you have written? Okay, as a user you need to know yes name, yes, get student, these are the properties, these are the methods. As a developer you have to know what you have implemented, how you have implemented, like that only. The functionality wise, yes interfaces will enhance the security for our application, so by implementing that. Okay, so whereas there are so many conditions here, so to use the interfaces, that I will discuss. Okay, but whereas if you want to put some data into that things, if you want to put some parameters here, okay, now I'm putting some location, sorry, location I have added, some ID I'm giving. Okay, location I'm giving. Okay, for this also you have to specify the type, oh sorry, ID of number. Okay, location of type string. Okay, right, when we are giving the order, first order whatever you have given, so that ID number, so like that you have to provide. Okay, number only you have to provide, number type of data only you have to provide. Okay, whether you are taking ID, SID, whatever you want to take you can take, but you have to take the number type only. And yes location, so that should be string. Okay, like this only you have to call. Okay, now again I'm taking one log here, log SID I'm printing here. Okay, yes location I'm printing here, yes location, whatever the signature of that method as it is I'm taking. So in the format of order of that parameters also I'm taking. Okay, if you are putting some different orders, that won't be accepting. If you are not putting that in same order, that won't be reflecting. Okay, so you can check by yourself. Now when we are calling that method, so we have to provide the one ID and one location. So that location should be some HYD, Bangalore, whatever you want. Okay, like this you can provide and you can execute that interface methods. Compiled and executed. See, Ramana, location, Hyderabad, AS and ID, they all printed. Okay, that means this we will get to know by removing this one. You can simply remove that one. So what it will getting the error. Okay, now I am removing this one also. Okay, so what exactly you are providing, so that you have to provide. Okay, see, like this you are getting. But when we are providing arguments, that you have to use the mandatory, whatever the type you have to provide, that type you have to provide here. Okay, so here you have to provide that particular same type. Okay, so by giving the signature same as like interface methods, how you are going to give. Okay, so now coming to the back, I will give you some steps regarding that interface. Okay, I will give you some steps regarding that interface. So now first point, interfaces are same like our classes only, but that should not be implemented methods. Okay, we can say model of a class. Okay, in the interfaces we don't have any implemented methods. Okay, so actually any class, any interfaces is having, so what, properties and methods. Okay, but interface doesn't have any implemented methods. No implemented methods, point by point I'm telling, no implemented methods interfaces. So interfaces are used with the help of extends, I mean implemented with the help of implements keyword, implements keyword. Okay, now I will tell you one more thing. So we can extend a class from another class, we can implement a class from an interface. Okay, right, you have to remember. And whereas if you want to use interface some C interface, what I am doing here, class I am removing. If I want to implement an interface from interface, it won't be allowed. So that one also you can use extends. That means if you are putting some class and extending another class, if you are putting some interface extending from another interface, so both are interfaces you can extend, both are classes you can extend, both are interfaces you can extend, both are interfaces you can extend. But whereas one is a class, okay, one is a class, yes, class, and another one is an interface, then you have to use the implements keyword. Implements, that's a thumb rule you have to remember. That means you can extend a class from another class, you can extend an interface from another interface, but you can implement a class from an interface, you can implement a class from another interface, you can implement an interface from another class. Okay, like that you can use the classes and interfaces vice versa. Okay, so now, and another point I have to remember, so whatever the child class, so whatever the child class is nothing but implemented class, implemented class. Okay, so all the methods of that interfaces will be implemented. Implemented class should implement all the methods of interfaces. That means if you have provided only one method, so that method should be implemented. And if suppose get student data, some engineering student data I'm taking, okay, so you will get some errors because you have not implemented these methods. Then how many number of methods you have, that many number of methods you have to implement in the implemented class, then only will remove the error. So that is this point. Implemented class should implement all the methods of interfaces. Okay, so whenever we want to implement more than one interface, you can use like this. So interface 2 I'm using here. Okay, but interface 2 I have not defined. If you want, you can define this interface 2 I have defined. Okay, so like this, but there is no scope of that methods and all those things I have not implemented. No, so like that, so you can ignore. So you can also use more than one interface. You can implement more than one interface. Okay, you can implement more than one interface by comma separated. Okay, that will achieving the multiple inheritance. Actually, multiple inheritance means from multiple parents to one child. It won't be possible in the classes. It is possible in the interfaces. Okay, that don't worry. So nothing to worry. So you no need of all those things here, because you are not learning all the backend programming of TypeScript. Only what are the required things for our Angular implementation that I'm going to explain here. Okay, don't worry. So that you might be having lots of TypeScript related programming knowledge required. So for backend implementation, but this is not required for that. Okay, so just what we are getting, so that we are knowing. So this is how the interfaces are working. Okay, so basically we can say interfaces are the mediator between the actual implementation and the user. So user can get to know all the declaration part, and so the developer can get to know so all the implementation of that whatever the declared properties. Okay, so this is how the interfaces will work. Implements keyword, so we can achieve multiple inheritance using interfaces. You can achieve the multiple inheritances using the interfaces. Okay, right. So this is how the order and type you have to specify same. So then only, so this method and this method will be validated. Even if you're not providing also, class will be having some different, that is method overloading will be happen. The method overloading is also one of the concept of polymorphism. So which is there in the object oriented principles, that is also not required here. Okay, right. So this is how the interfaces will work. Enum.ts. I'm saving this one. Where exactly? In the TS workspace only. Enum.ts I'm taking. Right file. Okay, I have saved this one. Enum.ts. Okay. What is meant by enum? Okay, enum also we can say it is a type of data type. Save enum, right? So interfaces is done. Enumeration. Okay, enumeration or enum. Okay, enumeration is nothing but it is a type of data type which is having the constants. Okay, which is having the constant. Constants are nothing but some collection of constant. Suppose we have some data. The data, like suppose we have some months, Jan, okay, Feb, March, same kind of format, whatever we have, same kind of constants which are not changeable. So those things we can hold usually in the enumeration. Okay, enumeration is nothing but, so it is a collection of constant. Okay, which is also we can call it as a derived data type. Derived data type. So we might be knowing that data types are different types, like predefined data types and user defined data types. The user defined data types are like arrays, are nothing but collection of data. Objects is also like collection of data, key value paired data, and enumeration is also collection of data which is defined with the help of user. By using existing data types, we are defining a new data type, that is called what here? Enumeration. Usually when we are using the enumeration, so to define some global constants in our application, so we can use the enumeration here. To define some global constants, we have to write the enumeration to define the global constant. Okay, so directly I will dig into the data type. Enumeration is also acting as a data type only, right? So I'm just taking an example and then there itself I'm explaining that. Okay, how we are creating an enum type. Okay, so with the help of enum keyword, so whatever the keyword type we have to specify, so that keyword type you can specify. Okay, so whatever the enum type of that, how you are usually creating a class like that, you can create. Okay, so now I am creating some months like that. Okay, months is a type of enum. Okay, usually I'm taking 2 3 4 months only, or else days, months, I'm defining some constants. Okay, So here, otherwise I can take some courses, that will also fine. Okay, courses type enum I am specifying. So what usually courses are containing? Some HTML I have. HTML, no need to put only uppercase letters only. Anyhow, anyway, you can define the values inside that. Okay, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, okay, Angular. So I can define like this, Angular. Okay, so this is how I have created an enum. This is how I have created only just enum. It is a type, like how we have created var, no? So array you are creating, no? Okay, error, so is equal to some data in that, how you are providing HTML. Okay, so like css css sorry, JavaScript. Okay, Typescript, like that. So this is the how we have defined an array with the help of some variable. Okay, where we have specified, like where we have given the enum, like ARR we have given the courses. But whereas instead of array we are taking the enum type, that is global constant, how we are defining the constants, like that. Okay, and whatever the array we have defined, so that we can use in the inside a class, whatever the class we are specifying, class some sample. So there you want to use this array, so then you can use that array. Okay, or else you can define that array inside that class, then you can use that array. Okay, but here, okay, here like this. So but here what I'm going to do, I am just using whatever the properties, whatever the enum property I have, so that I'm using inside it, that I'm using inside it, inside a class, particular class. Okay, that class, no need of extending that, no need of implementing. It is not related to classes and interfaces, it's entirely different. It is a constant collection of constants we can define with the help of enum. Okay, so now this, I can say courses is a type. Which type? Enum type. So which is having some data, that is HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Angular. Okay, now in the class I have some properties. Okay, in the class I have some properties. That property I can say some A. Okay, or else courses, right? Instead of sample, I'm taking student courses. Just some meaningful name I'm getting. Student, some S name usually we are taking. So S name of string. Okay, S name of string we are defining. Okay, yes, yes of number we are defining. Okay, number is a data type, right? So this is how. Now I want to define that courses. Okay, that course list I can define. Okay, so course list I am taking. Which type of course list I am taking? That is of type course. Okay, now you got to know. Okay, how I have declared yes is number type, yes name is string type, course list is of type course. That means this course list will accepting only HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and Angular. Okay, whatever the enum constants we have defined, that we can use with the help of courses. Like that I have to define. Okay, so now what usually we are doing? Okay, in general, if you want to put some methods, get data, you can put here, you can return that data, whatever that. So return. Okay, so yes name, this dot s name colon. Okay, concatenates, yes I'm providing. Okay, concatenating colon, so course list, this dot course list, like this I can provide. But this is not exactly same as normal variable, but this course list I'm putting. Like if you want to return that method, if you want to take that method, so what you want to do, usually where some object I'm defining, so new. So here one object I'm creating for that class. So which class? For student class. Here I have defined that object. Now what I'm going to call get data. So obj dot get data I'm calling. Okay, so whereas when we call that get data, I'm just simply putting it in a log, actually log get data I'm putting it. Okay, now if you can observe enum.ts, right? File name is enum.ts. Typescript file compiled. So yes, Okay, compilation done. Sorry, it is not like enum.ts. I'm just compiled it. Okay, now with respect to node, I'm executing that enum.js. See here, so it's not defined actually, so I'm getting individual properties. Okay, it's not returning exactly, I'm getting individual properties I have created. So one student, whatever that student, so this property I have to use, and I am assigning the values for it. I have not defined this values, right? That's why it's not giving. Okay, the values not yet I have assigned. Here also I have just declared which is of type enum, so that's why it's giving the undefined. Okay, undefined, all the properties undefined only, I'm not giving any values. Okay, for that what I'm going to get, so I'm just ignoring this remove method. And now from outside, so if I want to assign the data to s name, how I'm assigning? Obj dot s name is equal to some Krishna I'm assigning. Okay, now obj dot, so what s is I have to specify, that is of type integer, like number I have to provide the number, like 34 I'm providing the number. Yes, yes. Okay, now if I want to provide the data for, so this student object obj dot course list, what I should provide? I have to provide the values. So what are the values? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Angular, these kind of values I have to provide. But whereas if you are providing that values, then so you have to provide the name of that enum. Okay, so what value you have to provide? Enum dot Angular, like this you can provide. Okay, so if you want to provide another value, course list, the value, so you can remove this one, so you can put dot here, the list of values that you can provide. Okay, like this you have to assign the values for enumerated constants. Enumerated constants dot bootstrap you can provide, like that you can provide. So this is how we are like giving the values for an object related properties. Here enum related properties also we are providing courses that with respect to the course, because from this reference only we are putting the values. Okay, from this reference only we are putting the values. Now we have assigned the values. Now how to access the values? Okay, now I'm putting one lag here. In the normal case, how we are accessing the values? Okay, in the normal case, if you want to get s dot name, okay, s dot student name. Okay, so this one I can call here. Okay, now for yes, I'm calling this one. Okay, yes, now it's happily executing. Okay, so just I'm taking this, compiling this one again. Name is normal properties I have taken, so that we have executed. Okay, see Krishna 34 is executed. In the same manner, if you try to execute the object dot course list, okay, course list, what will be happening? Okay, what will be happening? Compiled successfully. Okay, and now if I want to put, okay, what it's printing? Only 3 it's printing. So that means it's printing the size of that particular, like when we are using the array, no, so there it's printing some array, right? So like that only it's printing. Then how you are going to get the values of these things? How you are going to get the values of these things? So here in terms of object dot some course name, whatever the course list we have taken, that course list, don't take any object reference here, directly that property with whatever the object we have, that object is obj dot, so what exactly we are taking the property? The property name is, sorry, it's not course list is an property here. Okay, for that what you have to take here, you have to take the enum name, so that is course. Inside the array, whatever the property we are taking here, okay, whatever the property we are taking here, that property, whatever the property we are taking, that property with respect to that reference. How we are taking this one? This one, no, like this you have to call. But from where you are calling? From object, whatever the list of courses which are there, global constant which are there, from there you are accessing these properties. From there you are accessing these properties. From there you are accessing these properties. Suppose if you can print this one, only one particular course, whatever the taken courses, the courses list which are assigned 3 values, in that what are going to be printed? Courses. Inside that courses we have assigned 3 global constants, that Krishna 34 bootstrap. So what is Krishna here? So that is normal property. 34 is a yes name, yes bootstrap. What is bootstrap here? So whatever the latest value we have assigned to it, that will be printed. Whatever the latest value we have assigned to it, that will be printed. So otherwise, if you want to put a particular like index basis, okay, so which index needs to be printed? Okay, which index needs to be printed? So like that also you can put. So but what exactly it is taking? So whatever the latest value we have assigned, that will be printed. Now if you can put this same here, okay, we have assigned the angular, right? We have assigned the angular. That angular, it's going to be printed here. See, I have compiled it 2 times. I have added the console log here. Okay, here angular is printed, values are printed, bootstrap is printed. So where exactly, if you are providing this one after assigning that course CSS, that you can print, that it will be printing. Okay, so like this we can access the values of the properties of enum. Enum is used for to define the constants. Okay, so this fixed constant which will be act as a data type, so that data type we can use in the normal case, how we are using the normal data types, like that you can use.